Hey everyone. Today we're going to crack open the secrets of a spice we all think we know, cardamom. But what if I told you that inside that familiar, fragrant little pod is a hidden world of ancient medicine and some seriously specific knowledge? Let's dive in.
I mean, you've tasted it 1,000 times, right? But the ancient Ayurvedic physicians, they saw something way, way deeper than just a flavor. For them, it was like a powerful, intricate pharmacy packed into one single seed.
So let's find out what's inside. Before we get into all the crazy remedies, we've got to break down the basic building blocks that make this little spice so incredibly potent.
First things first, in the world of Ayurveda, they don't just call it cardamom, they call it Ela. And that name, well, it carries with it literally thousands of years of medicinal history, all documented in ancient texts.
So, quick science lesson. Inside each pod, about 10% of it is a fixed, stable oil. And another 5% is its active volatile oil. Now that is where the magic happens. That's where you get that incredible aroma and a lot of its most powerful properties. The rest is a mix of stuff like starch and minerals. And all that stuff gives Ela the properties we're probably already familiar with. We know it's aromatic, a stimulant, it's a fantastic stomachic, which just means it soothes the stomach, and a carminative, which helps with gas. People have been chewing on it for centuries as a breath freshener. But honestly, that's just scratching the surface.
Okay, now here's the crucial point. This is the big reveal. When those ancient texts talk about Ela, they are not talking about one thing. They're talking about two very distinct spices that today we kind of just lump together as cardamom. On one hand, you have Suksmaila, or small cardamom. That's the little green pod most of us know. But on the other hand, you've got Sthulaila, the larger, darker, almost smoky large cardamom. To the ancient practitioners, these were as different as a lemon and a lime. Yeah, they're related, but you use them for completely different things.
And get this isn't some new age botanical discovery. This distinction is laid out clear as day in foundational texts written thousands of years ago. They knew. So the real question is, how did they use these two different spices?
Okay, so what's the difference? Small cardamom, Suksmaila, was seen as cooling and sweet. Think of it as the gentle one. It was considered a heart tonic, something that kindles your digestive fire without being too harsh. It was the go-to for things like coughs, asthma, and urinary issues.
And now for the total opposite. Large cardamom, Sthulaila, is bitter and light. This was the heavy hitter. It was seen as a much more powerful cleansing substance. Its job was to pacify the heavier energies in the body, cleanse the mouth and sinuses, and it was what you reached for to treat things like poisons and wounds. Two very different tools for two very different jobs.
Okay, so now that we get that there are two distinct types of Ela, let's look at how they were actually used. The level of detail in these old texts is it's astounding. I mean, look at this range. We're talking about everything from urinary disorders and heart conditions to specific antidotes for scorpion stings, eye health, coughs, vomiting, fevers, severe pain, even boosting reproductive vitality. This stuff was a true multi-purpose medicine.
Let me give you a really specific, fascinating example. To treat a condition they called Udavarta, which is kind of like a reverse energy flow in the body from suppressing natural urges, they had this precise mixture. You had to take both unroasted cardamom and cardamom that was roasted over a ghee lamp, grind them together, and then eat the powder with honey. The specificity is just so impressive.
And the preparations were absolutely key. It wasn't just about taking cardamom. It was all about how you took it. For a scorpion bite, you'd grind the pods in curd. But for poisoning from the croton plant, you'd grind them with buttermilk. The delivery system was just as important as the herb itself.
And check this out. To instantly stop vomiting, the texts say you should burn the peels of the cardamom pods and then lick the ash with honey. It's a perfect example of how they used every single part of the plant in a super specific way. Nothing went to waste.
The real power was often in the combinations. This quote from the texts describes a remedy for heart disease. It's not just small cardamom, but small cardamom combined with long pepper root in ghee. Ayurveda was a science of synergy, understanding how different ingredients could work together to create a much more powerful effect.
So, after this quick tour through the ancient world of Ela, what's the big picture? What's the main thing to remember next time you see that little green pod?
Well, we've gone from a simple, everyday spice to a complex, super nuanced pharmacy.
Elchi, or cardamom, is just the perfect reminder that sometimes the most profound wisdom and the most powerful tools are hidden in plain sight, in the things we see and use every single day.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. If all of this knowledge is packed into one tiny cardamom pod, what other secrets are hiding out in the rest of your kitchen cabinet? Kind of makes you want to go take a closer look, doesn't it? Thanks for joining me.